Just to finish off the tour of the bolts on the gearbox, you can see there's one just there. There was one that went through and screwed in actually to the casting on the starter motor. So that one's out. And there's one more round this side down here, but you can't see it, you have to do it from underneath. Another tip I wanted to make you aware of was that the bolts that come out of the bell housing, which are these here, you can see they're different lengths. I think there might be only 2 different lengths, but to save me getting them wrong and in the wrong place and make sure that I can quickly put them in the right place, you can see that I've numbered the heads of the bolts, and then what I've done is I've put numbers at different places around the bell housing. Number 1 there, yeah. So that way I can avoid any sort of problems during reassembly. Yeah, I didn't enjoy that. So I undid all the bell housing bolts, then undid the bracket on the back of the gearbox, obviously this thing here, the 4 bolts for that. Started to move it back on a trolley jack. I had a trolley jack under the centre of the gearbox, and the whole thing just slipped. It then dropped. It didn't drop all the way out. It sort of got wedged between the trolley jack and the side of the body up there, and then I was able to very slowly lower it to the ground, but that was pretty fraught. I'm going to have fun getting this back in on my own, I think. I need a better trolley jack, that's for one thing, and also I think I'm going to have to get some help from a friend, because that's going to be too difficult to put in on my own, I think. Anyway, job done. One thing I have noticed, the gearbox, with the height I've got it at the moment, I could only just about get that gearbox out through the side here. I haven't tried yet, but it looks as though it'll go. But it's flipping tight. I mean, I couldn't bring it through the side here. It just wouldn't go through. So that's something worth bearing in mind if you're going to take the gearbox right out. Make sure you've got the car high enough to take the height of the gearbox. Well, at last the flywheel's off. So what I was waiting for was the T60 Torx wrench socket piece, which I've lost for the moment. So the good news is, as you can see, there's no oil leaking off the rear seal, so I'm not going to have to do anything about that. This bearing seems fine, seems quite taut, and yeah, looks good. So I've got to just put the flywheel, the lightweight flywheel on. Now the only problem I've got is the size of the bolts. So this is one of the bolts that came out, sort of thing you'd see in a shipyard somewhere. It's absolutely colossal. It's particularly long because it goes right the way through the full width of the dual mass flywheel. And you can see by the shiny sort of area up to there how far into the crank it screws. So you can see that the new flywheel is like 1/3 of the thickness, and this is going to be way too long. Now, apparently there are 2 solutions to this. One is to cut the bolt down, which I'm okay with, except for I'm going to have to do it with a hacksaw because I don't want to use an angle grinder because of the heat, and I'm worried it's going to, I don't know, mess up the strength of the bolt. It's a 12.9 grade steel bolt. So that's one option. Apparently that's the option most people take. The other option is for me to buy some different bolts, and I've had advice on the part number from TTV and from Mark Bates at 116 Trophy, and they are only 1.25 inches long, I think they are. no, sorry, they're 1.25 mil pitch. They're 25 mil long, so they're 1 inch long, which obviously these are about double that at least, aren't they? Almost 2 inches long, these ones. So I'm favouring ordering the shorter bolts, which are a stock part from BMW. So there's a BMW part number for them. I've got to order a thrust bearing release tube thing for the gearbox anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is order both parts and then collect those and fit them at the weekend.